So this BTEC Sports Science video looks at Unit 1 Physiology, and we are now on Learning MC, adaptations of body systems to exercise. So long-term training changes to body systems, specifically C1, the skeletal system adaptations. So your specification has actually listed 4 things, but I've added a 5th because one of the mark schemes incorporates this too. So my acronym for this is COMBS, C-O-M-B-S. Let's have a look. So C is for collagen. Now, just to remind you, collagen is a very important protein we have in our body in lots of different places. In terms of the skeletal systems, we particularly need to know about it being present and important in cartilage and in our connective tissues. So things like ligaments and tendons. Okay, so this is a substance, a protein that effectively glues structures together, makes them strong and structured together. Now we get collagen by eating vitamin C. That's quite easy to remember, vitamin C collagen. So we get it from lots of dairy products, but also other vitamin C nutrition. Unfortunately, as we age, we lose quite a lot of collagen. You might associate collagen perhaps with skin. So unfortunately, we get saggier skin as we age and more wrinkles because we lose the collagen in our skin. But obviously we lose it in our cartilage and our connective tissue too, which might be problematic for us during exercise. So the C for COMBS is collagen. What we know already is that if we do weight-bearing activity, we cause damage in our bones and in our ligaments that stabilize our joints. If we do resistance training, we cause damage, micro tears in our muscles and our connective tissue like our tendons. But the good thing is, if we do that sort of exercise and we cause that damage, our body's adaptation is that we will deposit more collagen to repair that damage. So if we damage regularly through regular exercise and training, we are regularly depositing more collagen into our connective tissues and into our bones, ultimately making them more stronger, which is a really good positive adaptation. So bones get damaged, we deposit more collagen, so there's more collagen in the bone, making them not only strong but flexible, and then helping them to withstand our performance, our impacts, avoid injury and fractures, and reduce the chance of osteoporosis. Our joints are stabilized by ligaments, and through regular exercise and stress, we deposit more collagen into our ligaments, making them thicker and stronger, and basically making our joints more stable. Okay, so giving us greater range of movement without damaging our joints. And lastly, more collagen is deposited into our cartilage, and thick cartilage on the ends of our bones protects them better, reduces the chance of them being worn away through regular exercise and overuse, and reducing the chance of osteoarthritis. So in all of these cases, collagen is deposited. There's more collagen in our bones, ligaments, cartilage, which are all associated with our skeletal system, and those tissues become stronger and more resistant to damage. So another skeletal adaptation is the O. O is for osteoclast. If you remember, the response during exercise was more osteoclast activity, more bone remodeling. If we do regular load-bearing or resistance training, it's pretty simple. There's more of this activity going on. There's more osteoclast activity. So when we exercise, we remodel. If we do regular training over time, we increase this process of bone remodeling and ultimately end up with stronger, more dense bones. The next adaptation of the skeletal system is the M. M is for mineral content. So we know from hopefully anatomy there are a few minerals that are important for bone health, bone strength, bone density, and the skeletal system is a store of these minerals. It stashes calcium, phosphorus and magnesium in our bones, ready for it to be used not only by the bones but by other processes in our body. Calcium is the most critical one for bone density, but also for things like action potentials, an impulse going along a neuron. So it's essential there too. Muscles won't contract properly if calcium isn't present. If we do regular weight-bearing or resistance training, we will absorb more calcium and phosphorus into our bones. We get a bigger mineral store, which is obviously really good for our body and the other processes as well as our bones. So more calcium is retained in bones as a result of regular exercise. These increased calcium levels in our bones, in our skeletal system, mean that our bones are more dense and less likely to experience osteoporosis and fracture. So this looks a little bit complicated, but actually it's not. This shows when we are growing in the growth phase, we have a bigger input or activity level of osteoblasts. They build new bone. There's less activity from osteoclasts. Remember, osteocytes control these things. So if there's more building, basically our bones are getting longer and bigger, which is what we do when we grow. We'd call this the modelling phase. In our sort of midlife, there is balance. So there is equal activity by osteoblast and clast. We clear out and we build about the same. This is our maintenance phase. This is when we're remodeling. Unfortunately, as we age and reach critical life stages like menopause, where we lose hormones like estrogen and testosterone for men, the relationship changes, and you can see that there's actually a greater activity of osteoclasts than there is of osteoblast in older age, which means we're breaking down more bone than we are building new bone. And this is where a problem can happen and bones become weaker, less dense, and we've got a risk of osteoporosis. So this could be problematic, and the relationship between osteoblast and clasts and how equal or imbalanced it is can determine bone strength. So we've talked about it a lot. Here's a look at osteoporosis. So osteoporosis is a condition where your bones become more porous. Porosity is the bigger holes, less bone. Healthy bone is quite dense. Osteoporosis or severe osteoporosis, you can see there are many more holes in there. There's actually less bone tissue. The bone is weaker in this stage. And as we age, we run the risk of this. If the relationship between osteoclasts and blasts become imbalanced, which it tends to in older age, we break down more than we form. There's more absorption of calcium than there is deposition of calcium. And remember, calcium is often what makes bones strong. But remember, healthy nutrition, taking in lots of calcium and doing the right kind of exercise can reduce the loss, not remove the loss, but reduce the loss of bone density, which is what we want to do. So the B in COMBS is for bone remodeling and bone density. Very similar to the response content really, but as an adaptation over time, our bones are regularly exercised, regularly stressed, regularly stimulated. That's a really important word. Stimulated to remodel. And the more remodeling happens, the stronger bones are going to be, the more dense bones are going to be. So during exercise, this happens, but as a result of regular exercise, this happens more, and therefore we are more likely to have stronger bones. So the last in my skeletal adaptations content is the S. Now remember, I added this because this content has been used in a mark scheme, even though it's not listed on the spec. Let's have a look. So again, we know the content of a synovial joint. We know all these labels. We know their structure and function and what they, essentially what they're there for to do. They just get better at doing it. So as a result of regular exercise, the articular cartilage, which protects the ends of the bones and reduces friction and allows smooth movement, gets thicker and stronger, which is a good thing. Synovial fluid, we release more. We know when we exercise, we release more than at rest. But as a result of regular exercise, more synovial fluid is released into the joints, obviously keeping them smoother and allowing smoother movement. As a result of regular exercise, not only our bones get stronger, but the ligaments that stabilize our joints get stronger because more collagen is deposited in them. The stronger the ligaments are, the stronger our joints are, withstanding movements and changes in direction. So it's a really important protective response too. So these are all adaptations to our joints, and and I've put this as S, synovial joints. So COMES is your acronym. So there we are. In many ways, not particularly new knowledge. This is just building on anatomy knowledge and talking about it in the context of regular exercise or training brings about some positive changes to the skeletal system. And here's a summary slide.